Cedric! No, wait. Edward! No, wait. The Batman. Man, has it been a long time since we've had a good gothic comic book movie about Batman. I mean, Nolan, Burton, they did well, but this is the true Dark Knight. Because the movie is very, very dark, both in tone and the fact that nobody had a good light on them. But other than that, and the fact that the film was 3 hours long, it was pretty decent. I gotta give props to Robert Pattinson. He really felt like someone who had gone through a past trauma and was battling inner demons. And he did not alter his voice to sound like the Kurgan with a sore throat, thank goodness. I mean, I loved Christian Bale in the Dark Knight trilogy, but sometimes you just gotta go the Michael Keaton route, which Pattinson did. And what I really liked about him is that he still felt like a young Bruce Wayne, dealing with his inner darkness while he beats up criminals. Because he doesn't always win the fight. He gets knocked around, but he overcomes it. Overall, I think Pattinson does a good job. And while no one can fully replace Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, I think Zoe Kravitz kind of redeemed the idea of an African-American Catwoman. Because while she was more of a background character, when she had the spotlight, she did a pretty good job. As for Colin Farrell, oh my gosh, did he somehow absorb De Niro or something? Because he did not look, act, sound, or feel like Colin Farrell. He was basically De Niro. And the makeup, to make him look the way he looked, did a pretty good job. He was unlike any penguin I've ever encountered. He's not monstrous like DeVito, or sad/manic like the guy from the Gotham TV show. Now, personally, I love all the penguins I've seen, both animated and live action. But I think this penguin needs a little bit more birdification. Maybe the top hat and the monocle, or maybe that's a little outdated. I don't know. But while the look of this penguin wasn't quite what I was expecting, Colin's performance did not disappoint. He was over the top, but also believable. Let's see. Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. A black Commissioner Gordon. He did good. He's known for being funny and known, I think, for also doing decent horror. Or maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Bottom line, he was good. He felt like a younger, more raw version of the guy who would become Commissioner of Gotham. And I would love to see him back in the role in a sequel. Actually, I'd love to see them all back in a role in a sequel. The guy playing Riddler, boy, did he Joker it up. Not that I'm complaining, but I don't know, he just felt too Joker-esque. Maybe he was channeling Frank Gorskin, I believe the name was. The guy from the Adam West show. Or maybe Jim Carrey. But he was both unnerving and sympathetic. Once his story was told, you kind of had to feel bad for the guy. Not see things from his perspective, of course, but yeah, he did deserve a little bit of sympathy. As for Alfred, Andy Serkis doesn't do much. We see visually that he's been through a few things, and he goes through a few more things in the interim of the movie. But I do feel like he's good as an old warhorse who decided to become a domestic / protector. I feel like Andy Serkis's character could definitely be the same type of Alfred we saw in the cartoon. The one with the past ties to British intelligence. Now, nothing will ever replace, or no one will ever replace Michael Gough, or even the guy from the Dark Knight trilogy. I'm terrible with names. You know who I'm talking about, right? But honestly, I think he did a slight bit better than Jeremy Irons. I mean, Jeremy was good, but I think Andy is a good modern Alfred. The rest of the cast did really well. You had the innocents of Gotham, the criminal scum of Gotham, and everyone in between. You felt like the city was standing on a knife's edge, ready to tip over in either direction, and things really come to a head towards the final act. So basically, everyone's performance was top-notch. Now for the effects. I think 90 to 95% of them were practical, including one of the best and most practical-looking Batmobiles I've seen since Adam West. It was a souped-up muscle car that could take a beating and still fight on. It wasn't as stylish as the ones from the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher films, or as intimidating as the Christopher Nolan Batmobiles. I feel like it was modeled after the Adam West Batmobile, a classic muscle car that's been modified. Only it's more practical than the one West drove. I think it might need a little bit more stylization for the next film, but overall, it got me where I need to go. Now for the... Oh, wait. I already talked about Riddler. Now for the story. It was good. Basically a whodunit with a bit of action thrown in. You never knew if characters were lying or being straight with you. And when all the secrets are revealed, it is a bit of a blow. It's a little convoluted, which is probably why it's 3 hours long. But it was satisfying overall. And I honestly hope they make a sequel in this branch of the genre, or franchise. It's not the best Batman story I've seen, mainly because it's hard to top Tim Burton and the animated movies, the ones based off the Tim Burton film. But I would say Robert Pattinson has proven that he can wear the cape and cowl. He gets this old fan's endorsement. This is Mr. J signing out and reminding you, vengeance is never the answer, but rather justice. And sometimes the things in the shadows are on your side. Now let's really, really, really hope for a sequel, because I have a funny feeling that it will leave us all with a grin.